I rise to appeal the ruling of the chair. Mr. President, the proposed amendment is germane to the bill at hand because the bill at hand is about protecting domestic violence victims, and the proposed amendment would protect domestic violence victims by authorizing judges to set bail on crimes that have been committed against members of the same family or household. Bail reform has had a disastrous impact on domestic violence victims and continues to imperil those vulnerable individuals. Mr. President, we all know that when someone calls and reports a domestic violence incident, it's one of the most difficult calls I would imagine. We just heard from Senator Rollison that one of the loneliest places in the world is as a victim of a crime. Perhaps no more lonely when that crime has been perpetrated by a member of a household, by a family member, by a loved one. Prior to bail reform, judges could set bail on any offenders charged with any domestic violence-related offense. Now our laws handcuff our judges, preventing them from setting bail on many serious and inherently violent offenses. Those include assault in the third degree, Mr. President, when someone causes physical injury to another person. Menacing in the second degree, when someone threatens another person with a weapon. Most stalking offenses, including stalking someone while displaying or possessing a gun or other weapon. False imprisonment in the second degree, unlawfully restraining another person. Aggravated family offense, when someone commits a specific misdemeanor family offense against a member of the same household and was convicted of one or more specified offenses within the preceding 5 years. Now, we're all, I think, on the same page that when someone calls for help, we want to make sure they get that help. I think we're also need to be on the same page that when someone is arrested, that's not an easy decision for that person who's pressing charges. The last thing we should want is for that person to return home to the very people and the very person that they just victimized. And allowing a judge to set bail or to hold someone and to incarcerate them and have the discretion by setting a dangerous standard and allowing that to be part of any review of a domestic violence offense, I think makes sense and certainly is germane to the underlying bill. The underlying bill, Mr. President, speaks to the fact that family offenses are typically the most emotionally charged situations a police officer can find themselves in. The most emotionally charged situation a police officer can find themselves in. Well, that's the point. You know why? It's personal. It's personal because there's someone who's living with you in the household who assaulted you, and you deserve to have the ability to make sure that that person doesn't reside in your home and isn't returned to your home so that they can actually continue to do just that. So yes, Mr. President, I believe that this amendment is germane. Lastly, Mr. President, I think we can all agree that domestic violence victims are among the most vulnerable in our society. We all agree to that. And we have to do more to protect them. In order to provide them with the protections that they need, we must give judges the discretion they need to set bail on all crimes of domestic violence. And that's why, Mr. President, I believe this amendment is not only germane, frankly, it's an opportunity for people in this House to understand that if we want to stand up for victims of domestic violence, this is an opportunity for us to do so today with this bill. So, Mr. President, for those reasons, I appeal the ruling of the chair.